Hey everybody, I'm here today to make a DIY video on changing a flat tire on your car and installing a spare tire in place of the flat tire. I'm going to make this whole video in one take, and I'm not going to use any cuts so that you get to see the entire process. Let's get right to it. All that I've done up until now is removed the spare tire from my trunk, and I've also removed the necessary tools from my trunk. All of this came with the car, and if you consult your owner's manual, you will be able to find out where these tools are with regards to your specific car. So the tools other than the spare tire are this jack right here, which is used to raise the car off of the ground, this little hook tool, which is used with the jack, okay, to help raise the car off of the ground, and then this bar right here, which is used to tighten and loosen these right here on the wheel. So what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to use the jack to start raising the car off of the ground. Now you should consult your owner's manual to find out where you should be placing the jack underneath the car, because there's a specific area that should be reinforced underneath the car, and when you find that area in the owner's manual, you're going to want to place the jack on that specific area that is reinforced. So I've placed the jack on that area right here. I'm going to use this tool right here to start turning it, and when I turn this jack clockwise, it starts to raise the car off of the ground, okay? Now basically I'm going to raise it off the ground, but I'm not going to raise it all the way off of the ground yet, because I want to actually loosen these before I fully raise it off of the ground. So I'm just raising it right now to get some of the weight off of the flat tire, okay? And then once I've removed or relieved some of the weight from the tire, then I'm going to actually continue raising it more. So right now I've relieved some of the weight off of the tire. I'm going to take this bar right here, and I'm going to go on each of these bolts right over here, and basically I'm going to turn them just slightly counterclockwise just to loosen them just a bit, because now we have a lot of resistance on the wheel, so I can apply a lot of pressure without having to worry about the wheel turning or anything like that. So now I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to go like this and just turn them a touch counterclockwise. Now they may be very tight, so you might have to apply a lot of pressure. Let's go ahead and see how tight they are. No, they're not that bad. That one wasn't that bad at least. Just turn them all just, I would say like a quarter of a turn to half a turn is more than enough. Just like that. Okay. Two more. Just like that. And then last one. Just like that. Okay. Now that I have loosened them up, I'm going to continue raising the car off of the ground. And basically I'm just going to keep on doing this until I have clearance underneath the flat tire. And basically that will allow me to remove the tire and the flat tire and the wheel from the car. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing this. It's a tedious process, but it's pretty easy. I mean, it's a pretty good workout for your arms. So I'm almost there. I have it raised off of the ground just a little bit. Just go a little bit more just in case. Alright, so I now have clearance underneath the flat tire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bar right here, and I'm going to remove all 5 of these, okay? So I'm just going to turn them counterclockwise, just like that, until I've completely removed them, okay? And I just like to do them to the point where I can remove them with my finger later on in the process, just like this. Alright, and then what you might have to do is you might have to just hold the wheel in place, because it might be on an angle, depending on you know, how you're removing them. But basically the goal is to remove all 5 of these, and then you can actually remove the wheel and the flat tire from your car. So now that I've removed all of them, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to actually fully remove them from their location right here, okay, just like that. Now be careful with your hands, because if your wheel is already loose, then it might just actually come off the car. So you don't want to squish your finger or anything like that. It's also important to consider safety and to never go underneath the car, just in case the jack fails. So right now I can remove the wheel from the car, but it's a little bit tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it just a little punch, just like that, and maybe a little kick until I loosen it up enough to fully remove it from the car. Just give it a little kick a few times on the various sides. So it's still quite tight. I'm just going to keep on kicking it until it comes loose. That's the goal right here. I'm going to move the spare tire out of the way so I can get a little bit of a better angle. Let's just go ahead and give it a couple kicks. There we go. It's starting to loosen up now. There we go. Still quite tight, but we're getting there. There we go. There we go. Okay, switching legs. There we go. I think. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that was a little bit more work than I expected, but you know what? It happens. It's part of the process. All right, so I'm going to remove this from the car carefully. As you see, the tire is completely flat. Completely flat. I'm going to move it to the side, get it out of the way, just like that. Let's actually just fully get it out of the way. Just like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the spare tire, put it in place, and load it onto this part of the car right here, just like that. Then, I'm going to take the 5 nuts, and I'm going to tighten them into place. Now, I'm just going to start off by finger tightening them into place, just like this. Just get them finger tightened into place. And what you want to do is you want to go with the following pattern. You don't want to just go in a circle. You want to go across from each other. So I did this one. I'm going to go across to this one now. I'm going to go ahead and finger tighten it about the same tension. Now I'm going to go across to this one over here. Finger tighten it to about the same tension. Okay. Now I'm going to go across to this one. Finger tighten it to about the same tension. And then across to this one, finger tighten it to about the same tension. Sometimes you might have to use the bar to really get it past a point in the thread if it's a little bit tight, which it is sometimes. So now, I basically want to go ahead and tighten them even more, but once again with the star pattern. So as opposed to just going in a circle, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something very similar as long as you keep going in the star pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this like that. We're going to go across to over here, tighten it like that, across to over here, tighten it like that, across, like that, and across. And this one's a little bit harder because it's too close to the ground, so we're just going to go like this. Yeah, and then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and retighten everything in the star pattern to make sure that it's really in place. And I'm actually going to stand up for this, so I'm going to retighten everything. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now, the spare tire has been installed. I'm going to lower the car, but I'm not going to lower it all the way. I'm going to lower it to the point where there's some pressure on the spare tire. Then we're going to tighten everything one more time just to be safe. So I'm going to lower it. Pretty easy process. I'm just turning counterclockwise with the jack over here. I'm going to keep lowering it to the point where the tire is touching the ground. And a little bit of the car's weight is being put on the tire. And almost there. Okay, so now that it's been lowered to that point, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tighten all of them one more time just to make sure that they're tight. Now that I have the car's weight on the tire, I can apply a lot more pressure without having to worry about turning the tire. So let's go ahead and tighten everything down one more time just to really make sure that it's in place. As you can see, I'm turning them just a little bit more Just a touch more will make a big difference. Just like that. All right. All we have to do now is fully lower the car, just as I'm doing right here. I'm just going to do it with my hand, just like that. Remove the jack. That's it. It's literally that simple. That is the DIY process for changing a flat tire on your car and installing a spare tire onto your car. Now, luckily for me, I realized that my tire was flat right as I pulled into my driveway, so I was able to do this in my driveway. But if you're doing this on the side of the road, you should definitely be careful and follow all of the necessary precautions. And if you have any questions, questions or concerns, be sure to consult your owner's manual. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.